Hello, this is Ajay here. In this video, I am going to talk about MySQL disaster recovery copy setup in OCI. MySQL disaster recovery copy is a feature in OCI where one can set up cross-region replication for their production MySQL databases in OCI. There are two ways to set up MySQL disaster recovery copy setup in OCI. The first one is using the OCI console level manual backup. We will take a full backup in the OCI console level and move that backup into the target region and then restore it into a new database and set up a cross-region inbound replication channel in the target DB system. The second approach is using the MySQL shell utilities, wherein we will use the MySQL shell utilities to copy the source backup into the target region and then set up an inbound replication channel in the target DB system. Let's take a look into the prerequisites which are required to set up the MySQL DR copy in OCI. The first prerequisite is the two VCNs in primary and DR region are to be paired. The port numbers 3306 and 33060 are to be whitelisted in the security list of both the subnets in the VCNs of primary and DR region. A custom configuration setup is to be made wherein the binary log expiry seconds in the primary is to be increased to minimum 3 days. Now let's start the demo on MySQL disaster recovery copy. Let us consider this is the production database service which is running in Chicago region and our DR copy will be set up in Ashburn region. So here the MySQL production system is already, the custom configuration is already applied, as well as the database version is 8.0.38 and it is highly available in the production primary database. The high availability is already enabled. Now, as a part of disaster recovery copy setup, we have to first click on the more actions, create manual backup. Once we click on the create manual backup, we need to give the appropriate name for the manual backup. Also, the backup type is full manual backup and the retention period as per our requirement. Once the retention period is provided, we can click on create manual backup. Now, once the backup is in progress, in order to monitor the status of backup, how much backup is completed, we can click on the work request, which will provide us the clear information on how much backup is completed, the percentage completion it will provide. Now, once the backup is 100% in the primary database system, you can click on the copy to another region option in the primary region, and you can choose the destination region as your DR region. That is here in this case, it is Ashburn, and click on copy option. Once the copy option is clicked, the copy from the primary region to the DR region is started. Now you can check the what is the status of this copy from primary to DR. Once you log into the DR region tenancy, that is Ashburn region in our case, you can click the refresh the option. You can go to the hamburger menu. Once you go to the hamburger menu, click on the database, click on the DB system backups here. You can see there is a database backup which is being created from the primary region, backup copy from US Chicago region. This is the primary database backup which we are creating here. Once the backup from the primary region to the DR region is copied, we can click on the option restore to new DB system. When we click on the restore to new DB system, we have to provide all the details related to the DR database provisioning and then click on restore. So here we have to choose the respective compartment first and then the MySQL DR DB system name. MySQL DR. Whether we need a standalone DB system or high availability, we have to choose here. Here we are also choosing a high availability option. We also have to configure the respective VCNs and the subnet. Also, which AD we are provisioning the database in. Once these things are completed, we also have to choose the respective shape as well as the storage what is required for the database. And whether it is highly available or standalone, we have already decided here itself in the above. So once these details are provided, we also can click on the configure backup plan, give the respective backup details when the automatic backup has to be started, and then click on configuration. Here we can choose which particular version your target DR should be. It is always recommended to choose the same database version as primary as well as in the target. So here we will be using the same database version of 8.0.38 as in the primary, and then we will click on restore. Once the database restore is completed in the DR database, we need to create a replication user in the primary database in order to connect to the DR database. Now let's create a database user in the primary database for replication purpose. Now, once the replication user is created in the primary database, we need to come to the target database in Ashburn region, scroll down to the channels and click on create channels. Once we click on the create channel, we need to choose the right compartment where we will be provisioning the DR copy, the channel, as well as the channel name. And then a small description on what is this replication channel about. We also need to give the source IP, the port 3306, the username which we have created in the primary database, and the password. The SSL mode will be in the required mode. Replication positioning will be auto positioning using source GTID auto positioning. Then we also have to verify the target DB system. Here, before verifying the target DB system, we also have the option of tables without primary key, which is to be allowed. And the target DB system name has to be verified, as we have provisioned whatever the target DB system while restoring, if it is the same or not. Once these things are given, you can click on create channel. So once you click on create channel, it will create in 5 minutes and it should be active once the channel creation is completed. Once the created channel comes to active state in the OCI console of the DR database, we can log into the DR database and check for the replication status. Here you can see the replication status is in sync with the primary, as the seconds behind the source is 0. Hence, the DR copy setup of the production database is successful. Now, let's proceed with the second approach of setting up MySQL DR copy. Now, let's take a look on how to copy the MySQL production database from primary region to the DR region using MySQL shell utilities. Here, we are connecting to the MySQL primary database using MySQL shell and logging into the source database. Once we log into the source primary database, we will fire the copy instance command, which will first do the dry run and where we'll check for the compatibilities. So once the dry run is completed, if there are no errors, we can proceed with the actual migration from source to target, where the dry run option equal to false. Now the copy instance command is completed successfully and the data is been copied from primary database to the DR database. Now we log into the DR database and check whether the actual schemas related to the application are copied or not. Here you can see Airport DB and World DB are the two databases for which we have done the copy instance command. Data copy from primary database to the DR database has been completed. Now we need to follow the same approach of creating the replication user and the inbound replication channel in the target DR database. This concludes the MySQL DR copy setup. Thank you.